That is a very beautiful piece by the band Kupazi, one of the Liberian sensational artists. So, musicians are influential, and as such, I don't think they should be involved into the politics of our motherland. Over the last few days, especially during the close of our elections, we observed a lot of influencers venturing into politics. I have been one person who has been against that particular part or that particular aspect of their involvement into politics. But again, there are on the flip side, there's another argument for coming from out of people that they too are Liberians and their political rights should be respected as well, aside from whatever they do as a profession. So this is how I choose to welcome all of you to this program. Good evening, Liberia. Good evening, Liberia. This is a newly established program where we bring to you all of the major realities in our political space. My name is K. Lyndon Chobai. Those of you who are watching this here live video, invite others and so that your voices too can be heard on this platform. So yeah, we will analyze the issue, we will analyze the issues, we will give our independent analysis on many of the issues taking place currently in our motherland. My colleague will soon be joining us very shortly. He is gearing up and to give his own analysis on some of the issues unfolding in our motherland. So why he gears up to enter our studio, please start sharing the live video, even though all eyes currently at the National Elections Commission, but it is also important to be aware of the situations that could emanate from the National Elections Commission. So, so please share the live video and don't forget to drop in your comments so that we can recognize. Don't forget to share the live video. This is the Good Evening Liberia, the program that comes on from 4 to 6 p.m. Focal Line TV, pride of District 18. We remain the biggest and independent media institutions in District 18. Keep sharing our live video. You just listened to a very inspiring song from Kobasi. What do you want to do? If I give you my country, what you want to do? So now that the election, I know the legislative election has been concluded. So a lot of people are wondering if we give you our country, what do you want to do? You understand? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? That is the biggest questions on the block now. What do you want to do? Keep sharing the video. Keep sharing. Keep sharing. Keep sharing. Keep sharing. Keep sharing. Welcome, good evening, Liberians. When you are at your office, when you are at your business center, this is the best program to be tuned into. Just subscribe, just buy $1 either orange or rooster and just wait for this program, Good Evening Liberia, because we will give you our own analysis on the current state of the politics taking place currently in our motherland. Keep sharing, drop in your comments, and be heard on the heard about the situations that is currently taking place in Liberia. So we will entertain a very short musical break also.
Hello, friends. Good morning. As actors, our heart goes out to our very carefully John Catherine's table. In fact, I'm not, I'm not host, I'm not cheap, I'm just you. I got my to pay. So much pride on so face. Some of them want me to feel, but I keep on going.
Keep sharing the video.
If I keep go to make them high, some people never satisfy. We fall on the criticize. If you don't appreciate the things I do, I know you, I know you. But you can call me.
Keep sharing the video. Another beautiful piece by the man Fassi. Keep sharing the video. Welcome. Welcome to the program, Even Liberia, with me, Ken Lyndon Tupai, and your co-host, Mohammed Khan. Keep sharing the video. Share the video. Share the video. Share the video in your various chat rooms. Share the video. It's going to be fascinating, intriguing, and sometimes titillating. Share the video. Share the video. This is the program Good Evening Liberia. So, okay, so we will go strictly to the issue. We will go strictly to the issue. So, a lot of Liberians, home and abroad, those of the people who are actually residing in the motherland, since the conduct of the elections on October 10th, a lot of people have kept their eyes at the National Elections Commission headquarters in Sincock, purposely aimed at getting the provisional results or knowing the outcome of the elections. So, over the last few days, the National Elections Commission has since been uh, pronouncing provisional results, provisional results in the confine of the 15 days durations as enshrined by the 1986 constitutions. So, from all indication, the number they have been announcing, the number they have been announcing are very good numbers, are very, very good numbers. One of the things about why we want to relax on this particular aspect of the discussion is the fact that I want to utilize this occasion to applaud Liberians who turned out in their numbers on October 10th to actually cast their ballots. I know one of the organizations that have been promoting peaceful elections over the last day, they have a cursive phrase where they talk about we are actually talking about ballots and not bullets. Ballots and not bullets. So my colleague Mohammed Vani Khan has just joined. Let me place him on the screen. Uh, Let me place him on the screen. Mohammed, I think you need to make some further adjustment with the camera. Uh,
Is it?
okay, yeah.
So good.
So welcome, Chief.
Thank you. It's a pleasure sitting with you on Good Evening Liberia. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, the initial,
I'm not hearing myself. I think
yeah, no,
you
you're,
say that. All right. So yeah. All right. So I think yeah. Uh, so I think yeah. You have a check number two. Yeah. So yeah. I think I'm much better. Yeah. Much
okay.
better. Much better.
All right, folks. This that is the man Mohammed Vani Khan, and together we will bring to you all of the major happenings. We laid out talks on all of the current situations that keep unfolding since the closure of the coup on October 10th up to present. Mohammed has been mostly involved into this particular process. Even though when during the course of the October 10th elections, we were actually on the field, Mohammed sat in the studio. So Mohammed will give us a clear insight about district 13 elections and what his views relative to district 13 elections because he sat in the studio. He got the impressions from many of the electors who tuned in to our station. So, Mohammed, you are most welcome again on this platform. Good evening, Liberia.
Yeah, thank you, Ligo. It's a pleasure sitting. It's a pleasure sitting with you on such platform at this time. And I'd like to say good evening, good afternoon, good morning to all of our followers based on your geographical locations. Wherever you are following us from, we want to say how's up to you. Um, on October 10th, we were privileged to sit in the studio by the directive of senior management at Focal TV at our institution here, where we brought all of our correspondents within the district via a live television, where some of them were able to come to via the StreamYard medium or via the telephone. But on that particular day, it was a hectic day, very very much headache. Sit in one seat for more than 3, 4, 5 hours. You sit there, you take a break, 10, 15 minutes break, and then you come back. It is not just an easy thing to sit there for more than 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 hours.
Yeah,
So it
definitely.
was not easy. And on that particular day, we spoke with all of our correspondents that were posted at various points within the district, and they were able to bring us up to speed as it relates to how they turn out to wear in terms of people going to the pool in a massive number, and they were able to tell us that oh yes, the electrics they are going to the pool in the massive number. They are turning out is encouraging, but they were not able to tell us that oh there is a violence erupted at this put in place within the district. So we were not able to get that from our correspondent or our reporters that were in the field on that particular day.
So, okay, because you sat in a position, even though this is not interview session, this is a program where we are expected to lead our thoughts on what is your own analysis as it relates to the the atmosphere? Was the atmosphere peaceful, holistically taking into consideration all of the election processes that were done across the country?
Um, I think you asked me the question concerning the district first, so I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that
but
can you just
you have
now
to. Yeah,
can
okay,
you,
okay. Let us
can
be
you
on the part of the
yeah can you
district.
first now the question to the district, and then I think we are opting of getting at the national scene.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Just bring me to the district, and let's just take the conversation to the district.
Yeah,
So
so I
let's
think
go.
after we have zero on the district, I think
Yeah, yeah,
we can place a spotlight on the national scene.
yeah. Okay.
So for the district level, it was very very much peaceful at certain time, and another point in time it become very much bloody, where we got a report of one of the representative candidates in Oscar Miller,
Yeah, Oscar
who
Miller actually watched that video.
yeah, who contested on the Movement for Progressive Change, which is the MPC, where he was attacked, allegedly attacked. And while I was on the show, I tried placing a call to Representative Ella Papi Flomo. At one point in time, he okayed the phone, and then once he heard my voice and then he heard our station name, so he ended the call, but I did not stop. I did a follow up. I placed another call to him. I tried placing calls to those who are in close proximity to him, but then we couldn't get him. So on that particular day, it was also okay. The atmosphere in terms of the elections governing themselves in a very peaceful and respectful manner. It was very much okay for the electors to go to the pool to cast their ballots in a very peaceful and respectful manner. And while on the other side too, it was now also okay for the MPC candidate in district number 13, which is Oscar Gongati Melo, that was allegedly attacked by supporters of Cuban representative Edo Patuflum.
Okay, thank you for bringing us up to speed. Thank you for bringing us up to speed with some of those interesting developments that the public need to know. It has actually been a while since we did such a very a major task we contributed towards ensuring that district 18 have credible elections. And up and down, that is where we are. So you've been following. You posted a very important message. The Cornelia Crab, Cornelia Crab Topa, you posted a message on our official page wherein she conceded defeat. How do you look at that particular statement?
Um, I look at that firstly to be a statement that, which of course it shows some level of patriotism, where Cornelia Crack took out to have come out at that early stage where you have counting of ballot papers were ongoing to have a representative candidate, not just a representative candidate, but someone who is a major unravel, a person who contested previous elections, and then while in the process where NEC was conducting the total tallying of vote cards within the district and within in the country, for her to have come out in the public to tell the public that, oh yes, she has conceded defeat, she has been defeated, that alone shows a high level of patriotism. That alone shows a level of leadership ability in her that would of course you never wanted to leave her supporters.
On the flip side of the coin, other people have always said this is the regular attributes of Cornelia. When result is not yet and officially announced, she normally does that, and she normally does that. So people are now saying that is the number 14 of Cornelia. What is your own analysis as it relates to that?
I don't really think everything people will try to put a spin around. People will try to put a spin around. People wants to make politics out of it, but I do not really think that is the means. I don't really think that is the means, or that was the means by which Cornelia was using, like to bring herself as a saint in the process that yes, to have been the first candidate to concede defeat, to send a signal out, to send a message out to Mr. Floma that yes, that's why I contested against you. I commit myself that, in fact, I have committed myself that the tally sheets I got from my pool watchers or my observers in fewer polling places has proven to me that yes, I couldn't or I did not survive in the elections. You you won the election, but I don't really think she did that because people wanted to say, "Oh, Cornelia was the first person." No, I think she did it because out of her own conviction that she felt defeated, and she got all of the numbers. Number does not lie.
Yeah,
So I want to believe she got after doing all of her tallying from various observers and pool watchers at those polling places within the district. That was how she came out to a conclusion to say, despite we have all of our tally sheets, with the exception of a few places left out, I can swiftly say to you that we have lost the district seats. So
oh,
that was very much good on her path to come out to the public at that early stage to say to the people that she lost the district seat.
yeah, you and I have been you and I have been discussing district taking politics for a very long time. Considering our area district taking is where we live. We understand the body politics of district taking, and to some extent, we disagree with the fact that we were not actually seeing that kind of unity from the upper belt of New Georgia. You understand? Because taking into consideration that district 18 has 38 communities, we were not seeing that kind of opposition. We were actually figuring that the likes of Solomon Chipo, the likes of Oscar Gongati Miller, and all of those candidates who came, Abraham Salif, all of those candidates who came from the lower, I know, from the lower belt of New Georgia, who who significantly reduced the incumbent vote. But on the flip side, we didn't see that. What do you think is responsible for that?
There are a few factors. Some of those factors that were responsible for those coming from the lower south within the district that they could not or they did not serve as a force to the incumbent.
So you mean it's people because people have been one of the person who have had numerous of community engagements to some extent. He even organized a trade school intended to politically incentivize the people towards his ideology of instilling redemptions within the district. do you think that people, what is your own analysis as it relates to the
Um,
body politics of Chipo,
um,
especially considering the fact that Chipo earlier participated in the process like more than any other candidate did in the past?
I think the message did not go well. The message that Mr. Chipo was selling out to the electors of Foundation number 13, that message did not go well to the people, which of course they are the electors. What Mr. Chipo should have done was sit down, strategize, ask yourself all of the hard questions. Where can I go and get a stronghold? Now, Mr. Flomo is the lawmaker of the number 13. He comes from the lower belt, and I am also from the lower belt. Where can I go and invest? In terms of investment, yeah, it's good. Coming with a vocational school is good. But at a certain point in time, the Liberian electors, they will need what we call is a cosmetic solution. So what I believe in these elections that play was they were looking for a cosmetic solution, a solution that could have just satisfied their ill at certain point in time. Like when you saw the lawmaker dishing out money, hundreds of thousands, this amount of thousands. He was just dishing it out. But Mr. Tipo, on the overall, Mr. Tipo did well to have contested the election and then got 1,000 votes. He did absolutely well, but the message did not go across. The message did not resonate in the ears of the electors the way in which it's supposed to resonate in the ears of the people. Because the electors, these days, the electors, they will always tell you, what have you done for them in the district? Yes, you can come, you build all of the schools, but there are few things. If you cannot go down to the woman who is selling coal in the market, it becomes a serious issue, it becomes a factor. If you cannot associate or affiliate yourself with the men who we call the quote unquote Zopos or disadvantaged youth, it becomes a serious factor. I think these are some of the things the next time when Mr. Chipo or the next of the other guys who are coming from the lower belt, they wants to contest, they will have to look into these things. Then the lower belt, if they want to contest, they have to look into some of these things. The disadvantaged youth, go into the market women, sit to them, ask them all of the questions. What can we do? How can we change it? What is the need of you people? I think these are the questions they should have been asking the electors of the
Do
district.
you foresee a different narrative in the body politics of District 13, owing to the fact that over the last few years since the by-election, this issues about attracting, using money to attract voters and your voter admirations towards your philosophy. Do we in any time have a teach or altercations in the body politics of District 13? Because a lot of people may somehow disagree with the kind of political style of the incumbent representative Edward Papiflumo over the fact that he must have done something like pointing out to infrastructures like the Judy Bryan Bridge, like the water kiosks across the 38 communities. Uh, do we have do we in time see a different dynamics in our body politics in District 18?
I think if we go to 2029 election,
Mhm.
we might see a dynamics.
Mhm.
But at the moment, what I have seen so far is what was played 2018 by election is the same thing that played on this gone on October 10th of this year. That was the same thing we saw playing around. The the process was monetized.
Mhm.
The people use the money to monetize the process of the more
Because
precisely represented floor.
for where you live, I could recall that at some point in time, I think a year prior to the elections, now a year, which is 2023, there were a lot of people who were actually representatives of party factor who were actually voicing out their dissatisfaction in the way the elections was actually proceeded from the initial stage. The leadership of Honorable Flomo was actually proceeded from the initial stage. Some of them, even I spoke with in party factor, said that if other communities will actually vote for Honorable Flomo, they will not vote for Honorable Flomo on grounds that he has abandoned the district. Those are the people who that party factor was regarded as one of the communities he obtained the highest vote for. He has abandoned, but I don't really understand the dying movement. At the
Mhm.
dying moment, I saw a very massive reception demonstrated by people of the Baptist Faith community. What is your own interpretations about that? Was it financially induced, or they were actually being sincere in their dissatisfaction?
The first thing people have what you call feel good effect.
Mhm.
At the time we haven't gotten to this stage of the election. The electors were using the feel good effect.
Mhm.
The feel good effect is where you stand before people, you just say something because you want to say it for people to look in your face, for people to listen to your voice, to listen to you. So I believe at that time the electors were saying these things just to make themselves feel
Okay, we are very sorry. We are very sorry for the breaks, for the moment of interruption due to our outage, but we were able to sort it out in the soonest possible time, and we are back, and we are actually back for good. So we were actually discussing the trend of politics as it relates to District 13, and subsequently we were elevating discussions up through the national scene where we give you what is the stance as the results keep coming in from the National Elections Commission. The Constitution demands that before one is considered the president of the Republic of Liberia, he or she must he or she must acquire 50% plus one vote. So over the last few days since the pronouncements of all of the results at this current stage, no candidate, absolutely no candidate has actually hit the 50% plus one vote as inscribed or prescribed by the Constitution. So let me place my co-host on the camera. So Mohammed, you are now back on the camera, and let's continue this discussion. So I was actually saying that the process we like you congratulated Cornelia Crowd, the UP candidate, for conceding defeat, and you spoke about other issues. I myself, I think that is the best display of patriotism to some extent. But the politics in District 18 was largely peaceful, contrary to what we experienced during the by-elections, where supporters of Team Cornelia Cry and were victimized as a result of violence owing to the fact that John Weir was the candidate who was also competing on the ticket of the coalitions of Democratic Change. We had a very terrible situation. District 18, Montserrat County Electoral District 18, was actually in the news for the wrong reason. But Cornelia Cry actually succeeded Okay, we so really and to you, this is something that is beyond our control. Initial power outage, and it has to do with network. And network, we are actually grappling with a major network challenge. At least our technical team has responded very quickly, and they have assured us that everything is perfectly okay now. We can continue our broadcast. So many thanks to all of you who are there waiting for us to continue this conversation together. This conversation is going to be fascinating, interesting, and mouth-watering as usual. So my name is Ken Lyndon Chobai, and my colleague name is Mohammed Vanin Kane, Ambassador Mohammed Vanin Kane. So I will place him back on the screen so that we begin discussing what we were actually talking about. So Mo, you have now placed on the screen, and let's keep the ball rolling.
Thank you, thank you. This is Liberia where we face issue of network, where the issue of network becomes a serious concern here. But howbeit, thank God that our engineers has been able to restore our network connectivity in our studio. So it's good being back.
Yeah, so you were commenting on some issues relative to our district. So because we are pressed up with time, you just gave your concluding comment on that particular thing. Then we can transition over to the national scene.
Yeah, for the issue of the district, the decision has been made,
Mhm.
and that decision is a 6 years decision that has been made by the electors within district number 13. And that is the decision that's going to determine how the lives of the people in the district are going to be transformed. Because the lives of the people within the district are going to be transformed when there are good laws that has been made up Capitol Hill, where you have a lawmaker who going to be thinking in their direction, in their interest. But howbeit, I want to believe that the electors believe within themselves that Representative Flomo better understands the plight of them. Representative Flomo better can better do the job. That is the reason for which they gave him a 6 years mandate to go to the capital to represent them.
That
So we look forward to a lot of good things coming the way of district number 13.
Yeah, but my own opinion as it relates to that particular subject, uh, they believe that Representative Flomo, because there were actually 17, including all of the candidates put together, there were actually 17. So and made the 17 candidates were vying for that particular position. They said it was a matter of fact that they should continue the leadership. They should continue the leadership side of Honorable Flomo. So the people have spoken. The people have spoken, and whenever the people speak, it is a matter of us that you live up to what the people
Oh,
and
sure. Oh,
the
yeah.
people say.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
the residents of District 13 are actually living up to. So right after January, we have Representative Flomo inducted into office. Even though he's still into office, he will be officially soon into office again to continue another 6 year contract signed with the people of District 13. So that is where we are. That is the beauty of politics. And so we are still moving, even though he has not been fully certificated by the National Elections Commission, but the National Elections Commission has pronounced him as the victor of these elections. So that is where we are now. So lastly, we want to also comment on the the trend of politics in Liberia as it relates to the politics, as it relates to the presidency. You know, right after the Liberian people exercised their right on the 10th of October, there are a lot of people who had their tally sheets in their possessions, and you have the people from the Unity Party claiming that they have won the elections. You have the people from the ruling establishment telling their supporters, just remain kind, just remain kind, do not celebrate, but we know what we have. What is your view about this? For me, I think those are things that were actually on the path of fueling conflict in our city, in our country, because when you listen to a ranking member of the Unity Party alliance making such a kind of derogatory statement that has the propensity to undermine the peace and stability of our country. What is your view on this particular issue?
Uh, those who do these things at times, our people pretend to be people who respect laws in this country.
Mhm.
At times, our people pretend to be those who respect the laws in our country, but then it is not the way in which they present themselves to be, like that person who is a law-abiding citizen within the country. Now, you cannot take the public, you cannot take to the public and then tell your supporters or whosoever person it is that you have won the election already, where you know within yourself that heard you haven't heard from the National Elections Commission as it relates to results being out, who is in the lead or who is not in the lead, or who has won the election. You cannot do that in other countries. In other countries, you don't do that. That alone is a threat to democracy. You don't do that. But to see some of those who are the politicians in this country, they sit on the radio, start to call figures that are not the rightful figures, put their supporters under the pretense that yes, they have won the election, and that would, of course, they haven't.
But there is their justifications. I think you may want to agree with them on this. Is the fact that before the tally, before the tally sheet were pasted on the wall, because during on the day of October 10th, everybody had each party was represented by an observer. Before the tally sheet was pasted on the wall, you have people presented tally sheets by the PO or whosoever was assigned by the National Elections Commission. So it could be that many of the statements they were actually making was based upon the tally sheets that were in their possession. What do you think? Don't you think that they were actually making informed statement based upon the kind of evidence they have within their possession?
But then, after you have made a quote unquote informed statement,
Mhm.
you might go to an imminent runoff.
Mhm.
So that's why the law tells you NEC is the official mouthpiece of elections matter in this country in terms of providing official results in any election period in our country.
Mhm.
NEC, which is the National Elections Commission, is the body that is called with the responsibility to provide a final result.
But I know
So,
about
so mhm,
another justifications from those people could be is the fact that, but I also have the NEC is not going to NEC is not going to announce a number outside of the tally sheets that
mhm,
they have presented, presented over to me.
mhm.
But why don't I have this? I have this tally sheet in my possession as an evidence just to counter check NEC reports, so I can utilize this tally sheet to excite my base, and I could be backed by evidence.
But that is why the law is against that. That is the reason for which
Mhm.
the law is against that. That is one reason for which the law tells you wait for NEC to provide an official result. You cannot do this. You cannot, those people who are saying the ruling establishment does not respect the rule of law. They too do not respect the rule of law. Those who are in the opposition and even those who are in the ruling establishment, some of them, they do not respect the rule of law because you haven't gotten official results from NEC declaring you the winner of the election, and then you take your supporters, you put them on the streets, or not just on the street, but you sit on the social media, or you sit on other media platforms, and then you say to your supporters, or you say to yourself that yes, you have won the election. That is a deception, and at the maximum point of hypocrisy to your supporters. These things should not.
That could be another strategy by some styles of the opposition, or sometimes the ruling establishment, to keep their people excited, because normally after the election everybody is very eager, and they are all they are all glued to the radio wanting to hear
Yeah, it's not
from.
it's not bad to be
Yeah,
glued to the radio to keep your base excited, to keep
mhm.
your base in a very stimulation. I mean, in a
A stimulus
stimulated
command.
mood.
Yeah.
No, it's not bad. It is good, but you must know how to provide the message. The message or messages you're going to be providing out there to your support base. You should know how to provide this message to your support base. You should be able to tell them this is how we need to govern ourselves. despite we are awaiting the national election to come out with an official results, we should be able to do these things.
But more, I think, sorry for the interruption. I think one of the fact that there have been reported, delayed by the National Elections Commission, taking into account we saw how the Unity Party and the LPP, which is the Liberia People Party, headed by Tiawangonglo, how they engaged the National Elections Commissions, and specifically as it relates to the FFR. You understand? So the people were actually suspecting that the National Elections Commission was actually playing a card that favored the incumbent. So that could be a justifications. I'm not saying that could be
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah. It's
justifications that
possible. It's
yeah,
possible. It
that
could
could
be.
be a justifications on why they were actually proceeding the way they were proceeding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that could be another justification from both from almost all of the almost all opposition political parties in Africa. That could be one justification. But on the other side, I think NEC has duration. They plan the election process by time. There is a duration they have. I think if at all for any other reason there are delays, maybe it could be in terms of logistics, maybe it could be in terms of fundings. They couldn't get the needed funding to make us all available at the appropriate time, or maybe logistics were lacking appropriate at that appropriate time. But howbeit, still thanks to God that the election was held successfully. And from what we have been able to see, or what we foresee, is an imminent runoff.
Yeah,
There
an
could
eminent
be
runner.
there could be an imminent runoff.
So before we even try to discuss the possibilities of a runoff, even though it has not been fully pronounced by the National Elections Commission, we want to be on path, and we want to actually be on path with what is often said by the National Elections Commission, because at this point of time, the National Elections Commission happens to be the person who has the board in their court. So we have to give them the necessary respect as possible. So, over the last on the day that Liberian actually exercised their votes, I woke up as early as 4 o'clock. I saw before when I even went outside there, because I have one of the precincts close, very close to mine, to where I live, the Salvation Deliverance School, and I saw people, trying to formulate themselves into a very long queue. I was very shocked. I was very shocked because I thought, from the taking into account the way people have since been governing themselves, people were not going to actually take these particular matters as very important as some of us expected. You understand? But I was very shocked when I went outside and I saw people in their numbers, waiting for the networkers to actually come. I mean that it means that was a clear indications of how resolved and demanding Nigerians were actually wanting to participate into that process. Maybe you saw that, just how to speak with it.
Yeah, I saw that because I live back factory.
Mhm.
Then we have one of the schools there where you have about two or three places
Yeah,
in
but
that school.
Quebec and
You have
peaceful practice.
exactly, so you have
Yeah.
two schools that are not far from where I live.
Yeah, yeah.
So what I saw on that particular day was the likes of the first time voters. They were very much eager to go and vote because it is the first time now. It is their first time
Yeah, the
to
first
go
time.
and cast their vote. For some of us, it is our second time casting our votes. So it was the first time for those who we call the first time voters going to the pool. In fact, some of them never knew how to go and cast their ballot.
Mhm.
Some of them never knew that. And then they have to go for consultation to maybe also political parties, or maybe some of them went to their parents to ask them how do they go about casting their ballot. So it was actually a good moment. It was like a new dawn where we see our own state security taking charge of the process.
Yeah.
The one down of United Nations.
Mhm.
They are not in the country now. To see our own state security, the AF or the joint securities, taking absolute charge of the process. We should give a hand applause to the joint security, to the ruling establishment, and even those who are in the opposition too, because They too also help to maintain the peace and stability of our country. It is on both sides.
Yeah.
One person cannot take the glory. All of the political parties in this country, or every single man in Liberia in this country, should be seen as people that should take all of the glory as it relates to maintaining the peace and stability of our country. So on that particular day, I saw the old folks, I saw the young people, I saw the young adults. Some of them they were disenchanted. Oh, we saw disenchanted people who feel disenchanted. They feel so disenchanted about the regime. Some of them they feel disenchanted about the past regime. So because of that, they want a leadership of continuity. They do not want a leadership of change.
Yep.
So there were a lot of people who were going to the ballot to go and cast their votes.
Yeah. Taking into considerations the fact that uh, based upon the results that have been announced by the National Elections Commission, and taking into considerations the suspensions of most Nima County Electoral District 4, which we believe that, as per our understandings and the information coming out from the National Elections Commission, that they are expected to conduct elections into that. But I was very
Yeah,
shocked.
just to update you, I think the process is ongoing.
The process is ongoing.
Yeah, it's today in Nima County District number 4.
District number 4.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. But just to bring our people up to speed with, I was very shocked when I went at the National Elections Commissions when you told me to go to the National Elections Commission headquarters to keep our people abreast with the happenings at the headquarters of the National Elections Commission. I was very shocked when the chairperson of the National Elections Commission, Madam David Eto Brown Lassana, was actually reading out the numbers of invalid votes. I was very shocked and I was disappointed. Aside from me being shocked, I was disappointed over the fact that for us to even arrive at that particular point to see number of invalid votes even reaching to 100,000
Yeah, yeah.
votes, it means that the National Elections Commission didn't do well in terms of their civil education or those people who they contracted to educate the people on how to vote. And I think this responsibility should not only be shouldered by the National Elections Commission. I think it's supposed to be a collective responsibility shouldered and catered to and exerted more attention by all political parties involved into the process.
If you ask those who work in the confines of the National Elections Commission, or those who are in close proximity, those who are in the leadership, the high-ranking officials at NEC, if you ask some of them today, what are some of those things? What are some of those factors that led to people not going out there, going to far places to teach the people how to vote? Somebody from NEC office could tell you
Yeah,
logistics,
inaccessibility.
inaccessibility,
Inaccessibility.
road connectivity.
Yeah, road
Yeah,
connectivity.
yeah, but actually, the people did not do well for our people. I saw the number more than 80,000
Yeah,
invalid votes.
invalid votes.
That was
Then I can say, is this thing so hard that people can be educated?
definitely so. Imagine that number could have been given to somebody.
Somebody else, and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
person to be widely appreciated
Or
as, I know, widely appreciated as the way the less known candidate Edward Appleton.
yeah. That number could have been given to that number could have been given to the top secret politician in the country.
Yeah.
Or maybe that number would have been cut into two, being given to maybe the ruling establishment or the opposition bloc.
Opposition.
So maybe if that number would be given to the opposition bloc, maybe they would have taken the chance to make significant use out of the moment that maybe would have been given to them, or likewise the ruling establishment.
I think it would be prudent enough by if we come on tomorrow, perhaps we can try to do some educational section here and just go have discussions a bit and do some educational section because this thing is very easy. I don't know why people try to resort to invalid vote continuously. Over the last elections, we experienced a very significant portions of our vote going towards the invalid and invalid vote again. So, and this thing is continuing to be repeating. What can we do? That's a question that needs to be answered by the people in the media. This is a question that needs to be answered by the politicians. There's a question that needs to be answered by one of us as Liberian citizens. Is it that the invalid vote issue is this issue about invalid vote is mainly done by people of the first time voters? And is it that our mothers who are not school, they are the one causing this invalid vote? What is the issue? What do you think is actually responsible for this issue about the invalid vote?
Yeah, one of those things could be
Mhm,
people do not really know how to vote.
mhm.
People haven't learned how to go about the voting process. And another thing could be eyesight.
Yeah, eyesight. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody maybe might be struggling from recognition, eye recognition. Somebody might be struggling for that. Maybe they might place it on the line or outside the box. They do not know. Or maybe the old folks. Some of it could be from the old folks. Some of it could be from the first time voter, the young guys, the young men and women. They were not taught how to go about casting their ballots. So that could be another means by which there were lots of invalid votes cast during the previous, on October 10th of this year.
Mhm.
So I think we look forward to seeing the National Election Commission contracting those who understand the work of the of civil voter education, which is the CVE.
Oh, but,
They,
yes,
they,
I also want to flag these issues because I was on the field when you sat in the for where I cover. I was tasked with 10 precincts. So within a precinct, they have multiple polling places. Sometimes I experience at one of the precincts. I experienced that like for Semico. America has about 6 polling places. You understand? One of the issues that the people were actually complaining on is the fact that the National Elections Commission actually hired people who could not actually do the job in a very in a very fast fashion. So I think this time, from the indications based upon the results that have been announced so far, there will be a runoff. I think NEC need to re-strategize, needs to equip themselves in terms of the people they hire and to do
Mhm,
this
mhm.
particular job because this is
Yeah,
about our
yeah.
country. You should provide access because we have a time that the constitution says voting is expected to the pool is expected to be open, and we have a law that say that as soon as so when the pool is expected to be closed. So I think those who will be hired by NEC, those who will be subcontracted or contracted by the National Elections Commission, should do everything possible that they can allow everyone to participate because Liberians are not actually taking these elections lightly. They actually want their voices to be heard through a democratic process. You understand? At Mohammed, you actually saw the number of people. Sometimes when you call, you saw the background how it used to actually be noisy, and that is a clear manifestation that Liberians are resolved and they actually want their voices to be heard through their democratic participations in the politics of Liberia.
Yeah, actually, that is exactly so. Liberians actually want to change.
Mhm.
There are other people. When I say change,
Mm.
I'm not speaking for any political
Any political
parties.
party.
Uh-huh. Maybe if you speak to somebody who is a supporter or a fanatics
Mhm.
of the regime, they will tell you yes, we want George Weah to continue the good work he's doing. If you speak to those from the opposition circle, they will tell you, Mr. Weah or President Weah hasn't done anything much. We need to change him. We need to bring another person. So it was actually a good time seeing Liberians going to the pool, making their ways, go in a very peaceful manner. At least one good thing we weren't able to hear was the issue of gunfire somewhere. No,
Yeah,
this so far we weren't able to hear about
yeah,
that.
yeah. We
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
hear that. We
we
want
weren't
to
able
commend
to hear about
Liberians for
that.
their
Yeah.
resilience, for political tolerance, even though there were some interruptions as it relates to violence,
Oh,
especially on the date of the campaign closures involving supporters of ACOs.
so.
You call that particular
Yeah,
situation,
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
was one of the worst
Yeah,
situations we
and
had covered.
yes,
Yeah,
definitely. So since I got into the media,
yeah.
that is one of the worst scene I've ever provided live coverage for.
Because I could actually
Yes.
see you were actually being
Yeah,
very careful about your safety as well
de-
as a guardian, but at the same time, you wanted
definitely,
the world to be informed about the happenings that was
definitely
currently
so,
taking place there.
definitely so. That
Yeah.
was that was the first scene I've ever covered
Mhm.
where I saw people having weapons in their hands,
Mhm.
using on each other, pelting stones at each other, using knives, scissors, sticks, rock against each other only because Ezra's political party is not in my interest, and Ezra's political party is not in this other person's interest. So because this other party is not in this man's interest, they should not use this round to go about their campaign activity. And that would therefore is absolutely wrong. There should be no spin put around that. Even those in the CDC or those who in ACO, there should be no justification about that. We were on the scene, we saw what transpired, just how people property got damaged. In fact, people property got damaged from both
From
sides.
both sides.
Those from the CDC, their property got damaged. Those from the ruling establishment, their property got damaged. Even people who are not politicians, their property got damaged. There's an extra shot along that road.
Yeah,
Yes.
opposite the access. I know the access bank.
Access Bank.
The access bank.
The owner of that shop
Mhm.
became a victim of the situation. The person was not part of the situation. These people were sitting silently,
This
quietly.
is very, very horrible, especially when you are not even part of the process and watch your property being vandalized by
Sure.
unscrupulous
Sure,
individuals.
sure,
Yeah.
definitely. So
Mhm.
that was actually a terrible scene on that particular day.
Mhm.
It was not okay for our country. There should be no justification about that. People should not say, "Oh, the Muslims are this, the Muslims are that." No, it is not about trouble. It is not about religious politics.
Mhm.
Everybody were wrong at that particular moment. Everybody were wrong. Let those political parties go back to the table and re-strategize. And then I think another thing we also have to talk about is also if we are to go to a runoff.
Yeah, it run up. We actually transition to that conversation. We're just
Okay.
trying to interspice it. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So, yes, you were giving a statement. Yeah, about violence.
Okay, so
Mhm.
the issue of violence should not be tribal laws.
Mhm.
It should not be religious law. It should not be on religious sentiment or tribal sentiment.
Mhm.
People should not tribalize of violence. No, this is something we have faced in our country. We suffer from it. People got affected from this. The issue of tribal sentiment or religious sentiment in our country. People got affected by that. People were killed in this country because of that. There should be no space for people encouraging these kinds of art. There should be no space for this. And the sorrowful thing about it, those who allow themselves to be used by politicians to go around to get in the streets to cause chaos, to cause violence. At the end of the day, some of you have been left out. Some of you hope and aspiration has been dashed down. Some of these politicians who use you guys at the end of the day, they do not care about you. After they have
Most
used you
definitely, most
at the end of
definitely.
the day,
They do not
they do
care.
not care. Some of them have dashed you, they have gone by their business.
I am even disappointed over the fact that our politics will even resort into such a kind of form and manner for Liberians to even be physically assaulting, assaulting their friend. I'm very disappointed over the fact that uh over the fact that like in one of the videos you streamed, I saw the guy lying down and you were actually pointing the camera to him, and this guy was being brutally, he was being brutally beaten by the other supporters from the other end. You understand? And he was actually lying unconscious. Well, I also read in the front page article that guy miraculously came through. You understand?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
that guy
good.
miraculously came through because everybody who saw that guy in the video, especially considering his unconscious nature, he was actually lying. May have presumed that he was dead already. You understand?
Yes, because it was very bad. Some of the guys were using stone, rocks on the guy because he was wearing a blue CDC shirt
Yeah.
with a blue scrapped jeans trouser with a slinger on his foot with a red beret on his head. Because even that is the reason for which when I was covering that program, I mean that scene, I did not say he has lost his life.
Yeah, yeah. You were very.
Because
Yes,
definitely so.
I
Because
was.
I am not a medical person.
Yeah, medical expert to
Exactly
determine.
so. To
Mhm,
determine whether the man is alive or not.
mhm,
But he was in a very terrible condition.
yeah.
But thank God that
Even me, who who wasn't on the scene, I had that kind of mindset that that guy must have lost his life. But incredibly to me, that I read in the front page African newspaper the other day, and that guy miraculously came through. And that guy, a lot of people shocked about him. You understand? So we want to say we want to thank God that he he came through. But the properties that were being damaged, the next day, Prime FM went there and were actually doing an assessment, where the guy was actually explaining on the number of, the number of damage he experienced as a result of that particular situation. It was somehow terrible for us. So let's get to the real issue. So we have already condemned the issues about violence, and we don't want to have a reoccurrence of similar nature. So taking into considerations over the last few days since the National Elections Commission chairpersons and our able commissioner have since been releasing results, it points to the fact that there is a possibility that we will experience a runoff in these elections. Uh, what for me? I think that taking into consideration the vote, that the love, the kind of massive support shown by the southeasterner, it made that I don't think that they they they, they, the people of Lofa County, taking into consideration the way the southeasterner voted, and they actually voted for George Weah, one could justifiably say that one of the reasons why the southeasterner voted for George Weah is because they have bulk of their kingsmen who are actually benefiting from the government, and it is not about the kind of the kind of physical development Georgia has been able to take to that particular part of the regions in Liberia. Is because many of their kingsmen who they look up to for maybe for support or for better living, they are involved in the government. That is the reason why Georgia actually got their support. But let me hear you. What is your view on the kind of massive support accumulated from by George Weah from those regions?
one of those factor, one of those factors for which I think President Weah was able to get a massive support or a mass vote or huge number from the
Mm-hmm.
southeast. These are was quite based on his visitation
Mm-hmm.
to all of the counties within the southeast. After he touched all of the counties, he ensured that yes, oh yes, I have my people here. There are a lot of numbers that are here. I need to go there. Let me move there. Let me move in there to get the numbers from there. That's why I am from Grenville. You have Senate Pro Tem Albert coming from there. You have Speaker Buffer Timor coming from there. You have Len Eugene Nangwe coming from
Yeah,
there.
Len Eugene Nangwe, you have the deputy speaker,
Deputy Speaker
J.
Fonati
Fonati
Kofa.
Kofa.
You have a lot of people who are
Yeah,
in
a
government
lot
that
of
are
eminent government officials.
definitely so
Yeah.
coming from the southeast.
Mm-hmm.
So the president and that of the ruling establishment, they were able to manage their way to get into the southeast
Mm-hmm.
and spoke to their own people there that hello, our people, we are here again. We need you people number, we need the votes. But likewise, Lofa County.
Mm-hmm.
I think in Lofa, the people voted based on what Ambassador Joseph Nima Walker has been able to do. That's why the same way too, the people voted for Joshua based on what he has been able to do in Southtown and other counties within the southeast.
But were you actually shocked from the number that the CDC got? Because if we had to do a comparative
Oh yeah,
analysis
oh
in
yeah, yeah, yeah,
2017,
yeah, yeah.
CDC
Yeah.
getting they didn't obtain a very impressive number.
CDC
But
did
this
not
particular reality has dramatically changed as of this election. We
CDC did
see,
not get even 20,000 votes.
yeah,
2017 presidential elections
yeah.
in Lofa County, the CDC did not get. They couldn't manage to get even 20 or 25,000 votes from
Mm-hmm.
Lofa County. But in these elections, the CDC was able to get a 35,000 plus 35,000 votes
Mm-hmm. And
from Lofa County. So that alone should just send signals out to those who are in the opposition, precisely the Unity Party
and
that
still presuming that the Lofa County is a
is a
stronghold
stronghold
to
of
to
exactly so
yeah.
of the Unity Party standard bearer.
Uh-huh.
Now, the CDC thought to themselves that we need to go to Lofa. We need a vote from Lofa County. That's why we might not get all of the votes, or we might not get the the biggest vote or all of the votes in Lofa County, but we need a number there. What can we do? Now, we have Representative Tomofala. We have Mayor Jefferson Kochi. We have Augustine Janga Ko. We have Mose Yakpawolo Koli.
Yeah,
you have Senator Joseph Pato Jala.
Yeah, Koto Jala was heavily supported by the government in the
Yes.
elections
Yeah, yeah.
Against
Against Galama
Unity Party
Kotima.
supported. Yeah,
Against Galama Fatima.
yeah.
So you have all of the guys who are in position of leadership in this government coming from Lofa County. So the CDC, I think what the CDC were able to do was to plan a strategy. Let's push these guys, since they are sons and daughters of that county, let's push them, let them go to that county and give us the needed results. That's why we might not get all of the numbers there. But let's go there and get the number that we think.
And let's try to change the dynamics as opposed to the reality we experienced in 2017. So those guys were strategically placed in those regions to change the dynamics. Yeah,
Definitely so, because they feel that in 2017, you have Jefferson Kochi. He was the youth leader of the CDC. He was not in the government.
He wasn't in the government.
He wasn't in
He
the
wasn't.
government.
If we want to even be more logical in our reasoning, we could say he wasn't very influential.
Influential in Lofa County.
Yeah.
But he was influential in the CDC.
In the CDC.
And maybe someone could say somewhere somehow in Maserado County he has some influence over the young people.
Yeah,
but at that time, even if Jeff Tamakochi was spent more than 16 or 20 years in opposition, he couldn't carry the kind of investment he has carried within Lofa County.
Most definitely.
Even if Representative Thomas P. Fana, who has spent 14 or 30 years being opposition lawmaker, he wouldn't have carried the kind of investment he carried in Lofa County. But because it is their government, they are in government already. This government is their government. They fought to bring the government to power today. So they have the needed logistics to carry development to Lofa County. So they were able to carry development to Lofa County amidst the slogan or the strategy that let's bring development and let's oppose this
issue
about traditional politics or godfather. Let's oppose it with development. So that was how you saw the election of the guys from the CDC. They start to say, let's bring development, take development over tradition. Take development over
tradition.
Over godfather.
Yeah, godfather.
So that was how you see people within Lofa County, and not just that, but taking Thomas Fana and put him right in the heart of former Vice President Joseph Nima Bwaka 4 years, where you have Francis Sakila Yoman. Who was the lawmaker of that district? Where Thomas Fana
even posted at some point in time because relative to that riot that took place
in Lofa County, we heard him.
Yeah,
exactly. So
President Yuma posting that there's no way.
Exactly. So Thomas Fana can defeat him.
Yeah, can defeat him.
Definitely. So he said that. So seeing Thomas Fana, the strategy the CDC used, and that strategy greatly helped them. And maybe they are even planning more than the strategy they used in Lofa County. Maybe I'm not the official spokesperson of the CDC or neither their campaign team.
Yeah, we are just trying to.
We are just making an analysis of what transpired within Lofa County and Nima County and even on the national scene. So they were able to manage that situation. We will put these guys there outside. Let's send these guys into Lofa. Once we send these guys to Lofa, we will be able to get 1,000 votes from there. The number we got 2017, we will get more than what we acquired in 2017. So that strategy was able to work, and it worked in the interest of Lofa County, where it did not send a good picture to those who were in position 12 years ago. They were supporters of the Unity Party 12 years ago. They did not do what those guys in the CDC are doing or they did in Lofa County before October 10 election.
So that is one of the things, because we, from the start of the campaign up to one of the slogans of the ruling party has to do with the one round victory. So, but I think the Unity Party folks, one of the reasons why the Unity Party folks tried to anchor the World Round victory also it was to actually scare was actually intended to scare the ruling establishment. But I think from a very sincere perspective and analysis, I don't think that the Unity Party was actually vying or voting for a one round victory. You understand? Because evidence by the elections results that keep coming from the National Elections Commission, a uncover a whole lot of incredible realities like the local campaign issues we were just talking about. A lot of people felt that there is no way, no matter of developments you take to Lofa County, no matter of development you take to Lofa County is a traditionally rooted county.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
But
yeah.
the kind of strategies engineered by some top levels with some top level officials within the CDC automatically change the kind of realities.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I was even shocked when I saw CDC getting 12,000 votes, and Joseph Barker, and Joseph Barker is in the 24,000, and I was very surprised because the kind of situation we experienced from the 2017 elections was very different. While Joseph Barker was actually in maybe a 500, 450, we see George we are trailing,
Oh
trailing
yeah,
with
oh
maybe
yeah, oh
20
yeah.
votes,
Yeah, that
but
was what we were
you
able to
know,
see
and even in
2017.
Wakulu County, one of the areas that is closely in proximity with Lofa County,
Yeah, yeah.
right? They must have been induced by the kind of inter-marital relationship that exists.
So
So I was even shocked when President Weah, based upon the visitation, even took that place to be a battling ground, an area that was once regarded as the stronghold of the ruling of the former ruling Unity Party. It's now a battling ground because even though Joseph Barker got the highest at the end at the final analysis, but it wasn't a very wide margin. It is a margin that
yeah, yeah, yeah,
could
yeah.
easily be recovered.
Oh, so
Yeah.
so in Lofaka you have Joseph Walker getting 77,000,
37,000.
yeah, plus votes,
Mhm.
and then you have the CDC getting 30 plus thousand
Thousand
votes.
votes.
So it is not really a wild margin
So
as
it
compared.
means that if the more developments, and the more developments
Oh,
the
so
people are
it,
committed to bringing into that particular part of Lofa County
there,
or in Lofa County,
there could be a
and
possibility.
that there could be the faster the realities could change.
Yeah, there could be a possibility that would of course maybe the CDC government could say, gentlemen, the more we carry development over there, we strategize, we carry more development to Lofa County. That is the more we're going to get the minds of the people. Let them sit there, let the other guys and sit there and say, oh, there's a traditional county. The people are going to vote based on traditional tendency or the traditional theory that is in Lofa County that we're going to vote based on what our godfather has been able to do for us, or maybe what our godfather will do for us. But the guys on the CDC, they are not thinking that. They are telling you that we have we have the development. We're going to bring it to it. We are doing it now. So we need a vote at this moment. And since you want $5, we give you the $5. You saw the CDC, they did a lot of things.
Yeah, they did a lot of things because considering the fact that they have the financial capacity to influence any
Definitely
other thing.
so.
You
Definitely
understand?
so.
You understand? So
Definitely.
they actually
So those who were in position of leadership
Mhm.
few years ago, 12 years ago,
They actually sent a
they
very good message to those who were in opposition that if you are at certain brink of power, you need to
you
actually
need to go back
yeah, you need
home.
to actually go back
You
home.
need to go back home because there will be a time that you want to go there
Mhm.
to get the number of the people. You want to go there to get the vote of the people. And then at the end of the day, when you cannot get the number of the people, that's just a good picture out there
Definitely.
for you. That alone tells your political leader that you do not have a force. You do not even have a face in your own town. So this alone, this what transpired on October 10th.
Since
That
yeah, yeah,
what
yeah.
what transpired on October 10th. That alone is a shock to former Vice President Joseph Nima Boka.
Yes, it is
Probably,
actually a shock. It surprise. It
yeah, it's a
surprises Joseph
surprise.
Blacker
It's surprising
to some
a
extent.
lot
Yeah,
that probably Ambassador Joseph Nima Boka, you are lost in grip in Lofa County.
Lofa County.
Maybe your strategy, maybe what you plan in Lofa County is now working. You need to re-strategize and go through the trenches. So likewise, you see Nima County. For Nima, The
Jamaica,
CDC knew.
yeah, Jamaica actually performed very well. That was where I wanted for us to actually look at.
Yeah.
He actually
So
performed well, and taking into consideration this is somebody who has, who has his political influence quite across the I call all spectrum
so
of the electoral districts
so
in
so so now so now you see for Nema County, you have Nema County where Senator Jeremiah Kwanku and that of Senator Prince White Johnson, the two of them hail from that county.
Mm-hmm.
The the both of them,
Mm-hmm.
they have huge investment.
Definitely.
Serious money, huge investment these people have. They have serious money, huge investment in Nimba County that no one can underestimate. And not just underestimating that, but Prince Johnson is a godfather of Nimba County. The people are just proving by giving him another 9 years.
Yeah.
They have just proven that by giving him another 9 years to serve them in the House of Senate.
But one of the questions that I really need an interpretation, perhaps somebody who really understands the body politics of Limba is the fact that why is it that they are always rewarding Prince Johnson? Is it that they see Prince Johnson as somebody who must have, who must have safeguarded during some difficult days of their life? Why is it that they have so many Nibadians like the likes of William Duo, who was massively supported by the ruling establishment. You have Twan who came second to Prince Johnson.
Yeah.
As per the provisional results that keep coming from the National Elections Commission, and a host of other Nimbadians who have since been who have since been vying for that position. Why is it that the Nimbadians are so much attracted to this tendencies of voting Prince Johnson, Prince Johnson, Prince Johnson?
Uh, one thing. One thing we also have to look at here is Nibanians had told us to vote Prince Johnson or believe in him because some of them, based on who you talk to, some of them will say, "Oh, during the war, Prince Johnson stood by us. He laid his life on the line for us. He did this for us." So these are some of the reasons for which the people still believe in Prince Yellow Johnson. People still believe in him. And at the end of the day, he is one woman who is very much controversial.
Very controversial. At one point he is on the side,
Exactly. So
even I can recall some parts of the early, some parts of the 2023 where Prince Johnson started establishing a very vibrant relationship with the Unity Party. A lot of people predicted they were very skeptical about the moves of Prince Johnson. They said he is just going down there to test the water, and there were a whole lot of controversies surrounding his relationship he initially established with the Unity Party.
So these are some of the reasons for which Nibayan thought it was and said, Prince Johnson is our own. Jeremiah Pankun is our own. Not just being our own, but he is the senator of this country. He has served us for times of our members. And we think it is okay that we vote for Jeremiah Pankun. We vote for the Unity Party because he is on the ticket of the Unity Party. If at all, Jeremiah Pankun was not going to be picked by former Vice President Joseph Nima Bwaka. By this time, the Unity Party, maybe they might be running to court.
Definitely.
Because the number the Unity Party got from Nima County.
It's a clear manifestation that he actually his decision to pick Jeremiah Pankun was very, very sagacious.
Oh yes. 8,000, over 100,000 votes. The Unity Party got from Nima County. And where the CDC was struggling. And second round, the CDC might come up with another strategy. Maybe by this time now they are on their drawing board, asking themselves all of our questions. What went wrong?
I think the initial strategy didn't work because
no. I will also disagree with you on
first of all, we actually cross argue your opinions as it relates to my team because I can recall when the MDR parted way with the ruling coalitions of democratic change. You had the likes of Wilfred Bangura. You have so many. I know few other members from the MDR You understand?
Yeah.
Who said that it is a matter of most. They were very convinced, they were very complacent with the fact that President we have done so much well for the Liberian people as well as the Nevadans, and as such, they cannot repay those we are with ingratitude. You know what I'm saying? So they actually left, even though their political godfather, Prince Johnson, and has parted away with the ruling party. So I think to some extent the CDC didn't perform very well because CDC has invested so much money into that particular county, Nimba County, owing with the sole aim of attracting the Nevadans towards their re-election bid. So
Um,
maybe you can come in with your own,
let me come up with a few points.
Mhm.
Let me come up with a few points. Some of those points I think for which the CDC did not do well in Nimba County is that
Mhm.
the CDC never had a strong base in Nimba County. To be frank, to be clear, the CDC never had a good base, a very strong base. Likewise, the MDR that is in alignment now with the United Party.
But
You
at
know,
some point in time, I think, sorry for the interruption. At some point in time, they boasted of Roland Duo, they boasted of some people in Nimba, some influential people in Nimba County.
former representative of District Number Two, they also boasted of him, who is one of the commissioner at the LCC now.
Yeah, LCC.
I just forgetting his name. Yeah, Roland Dewey is not a bad man too.
Yeah.
Roland Dewey is not a bad guy. That's why I was offering that was happening in the past.
Garrison Yelu.
Garrison Yellow, yes,
You understand?
very tough talker. Old
Yeah,
man.
very tough talker.
Yeah, Garrison Yellow, that's the name there. Very tough talker, old man. You know, the CDC they did not do well in Nimba County.
Mm.
To have getting a face or a force, a person who, when you have to say yes, this is the person who I have in this county or in this vicinity that can pull the trigger. The CDC doesn't have that person in in Nimba County, likewise the Grand Crew, likewise the Maryland and other counties within the Southeast. They do not have that person to rather pull the trigger for them. So at the end of the day, you saw them struggling to get serious minded number to get real votes. If at all it was not the if at all it was not for Nima County going in alignment with the United Party. The United Party was, I mean, Nima County, probably Nima County might have gone in line with the CDC. Maybe they would have maintained their relationship
Mm.
and then give Joshua a second term mandate just on Nima County. So the CDC now, maybe they are sitting around the table, re-strategizing, asking themselves, maybe I want to believe one of the major questions they are asking themselves right now is who can we or who is the face?
Who can actually repair the damage caused by
Repair,
Prince Johnson?
exactly so.
You understand?
Repair the damage.
Mhm.
How can we enter these guys' chromosomes
Mhm.
and then damage it?
Yeah, damage it.
Or maybe even if we cannot damage it 50%, maybe if we can get 30%
Mhm.
or 45%.
Yeah.
It's
Owing
good
to the
number.
fact that
Owing-
they obtain a very massive support
Exactly.
from the southeastern region, so
Exactly so.
they just need to create a competitive gap in Nima
In
County.
Nima County, yes. So now that is a bigger question.
Mhm.
Who is that guy? Does that person have the face? That is big questions. I want to believe the guys from the CPC now they are around the table.
What has
asking
been his
themselves,
close relationship
exactly so.
with
What has
the
been this
people of
person
Nima
relationship
County,
with the
even
people of
before
Nima
we
County
select him? You
before
understand?
exactly so? These are
Those
simple
are critical
questions.
questions.
And then the United Party will not sit there and allow them to infiltrate.
Mhm.
The MDR will not sit there and allow them to infiltrate the system. So the NDR too will try to put a barricade to say these people cannot come here and infiltrate the system. If we allow them to infiltrate, they're going to get a fair share of what we have here. So what can we do is let's tell them there's a no-go zone for them. Probably that could be the thought. That could be the next move by the MDR or maybe the United Party folks that are within Nema County. So the CDC will just have to do well, and likewise the United Party also will have to do well in the southeast because they perform
They
below.
decimally perform.
Decimally
The
perform.
Unity Party actually decimally perform in the southeastern region.
Yes.
So this is not something to
That was not a
sugarcoat.
good. That was not a good percentage for
That
them
was,
in the
well, that
southeast.
was very, very
Very, very
disappointing.
bad.
Very, very
It was
disappointing.
very, very bad for them. You know, Maserado,
Mhm.
is it's like an elite terrain.
Yeah, and elite terrain.
Yeah, Maserati is an elite terrain where
But
you have.
aside from Maserati being an elite terrain, like you have already described Maserati, but I think it is it's a very competitive, it's a competitive gap for both of the two rivals. That is to say, the CDC and that of the Unity Party, because if Unity Party actually win, because as all of the results are came, Unity Party actually won 13 districts out of 17 districts. You understand? And
Mhm.
CDC narrowly won four of the districts. So it is actually it was actually a tough battle. It was actually a tough battle with the way some of us expected, and based upon the kind of message about the respiratory, and they had a kind of I foresee even prior to the push, I foresee that kind of realizations. I foresee that kind of excitement, and they were not even very inspired to even campaign as vigorously as the ruling establishment was campaigning. You know what I'm saying? We expected to have seen the people in the opposition campaign more vigorously as as compared to what the people in the ruling establishment were doing. But I
You
didn't
know,
see the
you
kind
know,
of energy. I
you
didn't
know.
see the kind of exuberance displayed by people in the opposition.
One thing, I think maybe just to buttress you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just to buttress on what you have just said. Yes, it is true that they did that really campaign vigorously.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe seeing where see the United Party campaigning vigorously
Mm-hmm.
all over the district, all over the country, moving left and right, going through the trenches. You know, this slogan, this thing about political parties in our country owing to themselves that they own the minds or the direction
Mm-hmm. That,
of the electors.
at the crucial stage,
At this crucial stage, it's not
yeah,
working any longer.
it's no longer working.
It's no longer working. If it was something that was working, by this time we were not going to be having 50 lawmakers exiting the Capitol building.
Definitely. On a very serious note, thank you for flagging that particular issues. I think the whole country, to some extent, right before we even transition into the campaign stage of the elections, a lot of people were very shocked when I think
I think let's
43
let's zero on this first,
and
and then we can come
mhm,
to those lawmakers that were booted
yeah,
out.
yeah,
And let's see why were some of them lapses, where were the issues, and what are those recommendations that can be made.
mhm,
So the issue of people in this country thinking like the electors owe it to them. The decision of the electors
mhm,
are those decisions that belongs to those who are the politicians or the lead fighters within those political parties are no longer working in this country this time around. These things there are no longer working. So to have seen people voting the way in which they went about to vote, that alone should tell you that Liberians are gravitating
yeah,
from the way in which they used to vote, from the kind of a thinking they had a few years ago. Because the guys from the United Party, they ran around with this slogan, or maybe someone could say a shenanigan,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that we tired with kush,
Italian Kush.
harmonization policy. People has been dying. People been
Auditors,
dying.
exterior killing,
Auditors,
extra killing,
exactly
and
so.
all sort of.
Exactly so.
Mm,
If the electors had bought that political propaganda, by this time, Joshua has become a wanting president.
yes.
And likewise, the CDC also. They say, oh, it's a squander train, the squander opportunity.
Opportunity.
We are cleaning the mess. They created a lot of losses within the country.
Complacent with the kind of stride they have made in terms of
Definitely so.
in terms of connectivity,
We have made
rural connectivity. Yeah.
yeah, we have made significant strides. So these guys they want to matriculate their way back into the presidency to loot. They amassed looters, they looted the state cover. Those propaganda never worked. And it did not resonate in the ears of the people.
Definitely.
The people felt that those messages could not sway them away from making the kind of decisions
Decision.
they wanted to make. So at the end of the day, you saw the people going to the pool to vent their anger at the ballot box, at the ballot boxes. So these things are no longer working. Politicians in this country, you have to change your approach to the Liberian electors are no longer working. It's not resonating in the ears of the people any longer. So you have to change your approach to the people. You cannot continue to use the same old pattern. The people put you there to work in their interest, work in their interest. We know everybody cannot be 100%.
Yeah, everyone is
But
not
you have
perfect.
to work in the interest. The
Mhm.
common things, the common things that people want you to do, solve the common problems. And then you're going to get the will, the heart, the admiration, the happiness, the comfort of the people. But you cannot solve the common problem. Those who are in the opposition, they sat in this country, they led this country for 12 years. They could not solve those common problems that they say the CDC is not solving today. The CDC government, you sat in opposition for 12 years ago. You said you could solve this problem, you can manage it, you can better do this, you can better do that. They gave you 6 years, you can manage a problem.
What manage the problem? Like there is
You
actually.
have you have done some, but you haven't done everything. People still cry on a daily basis. So that is it. We thought that it could have been a new face competing with the presidency, competing with the ruling establishment. The new face could be Tiago, Sarah Beslo Yanti, uh, Alex Cummings. You know, there are a lot of there are a lot of young guys. There are a lot of new faces. We thought we are going to be competitor to just react. But anyway, that is the right of the Liberian people. The Liberian people went to the pool and they make a resounding and final decision that would of course we might likely go to the runoff.
Yeah.
And that is where the two political parties that are going to the runoff will have to be very careful.
Very, very careful.
Because, mind you now, it is something like this. Maybe, maybe while United Party was able to win Cape Mount or maybe bombing or Cape Mount, maybe in this runoff, United Party must struggle.
The dynamic will change. Slightly change.
Because all of those candidates, they got votes from these various counties.
Yeah.
Whether that 20 votes, that 50 votes, is 100 or 100 plus votes. They got votes from all of the counties, all of the 15 political subdivisions.
And taking into account some of those people were, some of those voters were truck.
Exactly. So some of them were truck, or maybe taking into account some of them were in close proximity, or maybe in close alignment with some of these presidential aspirants. Maybe the person is vying for the presidency. You are in close proximity. That close proximity could be maybe you and him live in the same community, or maybe you are related to him by family line, or maybe through affiliation you are related to him. So because of that, you say I will vote for this man because of X, Y, and Z reason. I'm going to vote for this man. That could be another reason. But then in the second round, it could change. That man who voted for Mr. Cummings because of some reason that he has some alignment with people who are in position within the CPP. That is the reason for which they voted for Mr. Cummings. Maybe this time around they must say, I'm going to vote for Josh Weah, or I'm going to vote for Joseph Newman Boyka. It could change. Yeah, nobody knows.
Most definitely.
Definitely so.
Yeah.
So now I think we can go to the capital building. All of those lawmakers.
Yeah. So over the last few months prior to the campaign, the start of the campaign, which started in July, so we witnessed an endorsement, a very massive endorsement from lawmakers of Capitol Hill who galvanized themselves under one umbrella structure.
Yeah.
And they actually endorsed.
They endorsed the president.
They endorsed the re-election bid of President Weah. Yeah. But it was so shocking.
And just to inform you too, it was also on the other side of the United Party.
Yeah, on the flip side, I will inject that particular thing. Yeah. That the ruling party was actually massive. And on the flip side, as Mohammed said, we saw an endorsement done by the very people at the Capitol Hill, but it wasn't a very huge number. We saw few lawmakers of Capitol Hill supporting the presidential bid of opposition standard bearer, Unity Party standard bearer, Joseph Newman Boyka. We saw the likes of Prince Roy, we saw the likes of Young Kanga Lawrence, even though there was
Clarence Massacre.
Clarence Massacre, even though there was some confrontation as it relates to Moses Jumane, and
Mhm.
and the list of other lawmakers who we may not, we may not call their names on this platform, but they also indulge. They indulge the presidential bid of Unity Party stand-up barrier and political leader Joseph Biman Bwaka. But from the look of things, since the announcements of the provisional results by the National Elections Commissions and leading up towards where we are, because the National Elections Commission chairperson has officially announced the winner for almost several other districts and counties in Liberia. The only district so far so good has been Nima County elected most rather Nima County, where they had
District
a
number four.
situation,
Yeah.
district number 4, where the ballots were being stolen by some individuals. It was also reported by the National Elections Commission that those individuals who stole those ballot boxes were being arrested and those ballot boxes were retrieved. But it was being advised by the magistrate that those boxes were tampered with. So because they were tampered with, it was very unnecessary. It would have been very unnecessary for them to utilize a temple outweigh boxes to reflect the will and aspirations or the decision of those people in that particular area of the county. So that is where we are. So everybody was shocked. Everybody was shocked, but my colleague and I, Mohammed Bani Khan, we were actually be asserting. So what are some of those things? Were they actually deceiving President Weah? Um, were they lying to President Weah? Were they overly excited or optimistic of coming back to the Capitol building? Or what was actually the issue that made them to actually be voted out? So Mohammed, you keep the ball rolling from your angle, and I might say I will weigh in my opinion as it relates to that particular conversation.
Is it the situation that occurred in Nimba?
No, not really situations, but the kind of massive support.
Oh,
And
you're talking
from
about.
Ascara Gray,
Oh,
the likes of Ascara Gray, the likes of Johnson Weglow, the likes of Solomon George,
Papa
the
Timbers.
Buffalo Timber, the man who presides over close to $2 million budget,
Yeah,
and he was
yeah,
just
yeah,
he
yeah.
was just booted out by
Anthony F. Williams.
yeah, Anthony F. William, who is reported to be, and who is reported to be a money changer. It was very shocking. It got a lot of people laughing, and what is your view about this particular one? Let me hear you, man. Yeah.
You know, while on that particular day,
Mhm.
it is good that you and I were on that program.
Yeah, we're there. We're actually there. Very massive
We're on
support.
that program,
Mhm.
and then we saw what happened on that particular day. We saw what happened. Well, we saw a lot of lawmakers, representatives, senators.
Mhm.
We even saw Edwin Melvinson, Senator Snow
Melvin
was there,
Snow,
Sahari Joseph,
Sahari Joseph,
like what you said, Kweklo was
yeah,
there, Mambu Soni,
Mabu Sobi,
Haja, Mariam B. Fufana.
Man,
All these
Bifana,
faces were there, Edo Papu Flomo.
Edward Papi Flomo. The list go on
Yeah,
and
the list
on.
goes on and so on. But when after that program, I think that program was here on a Wednesday or Tuesday. After that program, one of these days, I sat on the program inside district number
District
13,
13.
where I made an analysis of all of those people who endorsed the re-election bid of President Josh Manuel. I provided a caution to them, telling them that that does not justify your re-election.
The chances of being re-elected.
The
Yeah.
chances of being re-elected by your constituents.
Mhm.
That should not be a justification. If any one of you taking that as a justification, you should not be thinking about that, because that is not even something that is not even sufficient. That is not sufficient for electors to say, or for the electors to hold, to determine to say, yes, we're going to vote for this man based on his commitment to the presidency or based on his commitment to President Josh Manuel. No. But on the overall, it was just a form of telling the president, "Oh, Mr. President, we're going to support you again. We're going to ensure that yes, you're going to be re-elected." And also on the opposition side, where those lawmakers, Byron Masakwe,
Or
he
Master
endorsed
Quay.
the re-election, he endorsed the presidential bill of former vice president Joseph Nima Boga, and he lost.
Yeah.
He lost to one Soko.
Yeah. So
I
yeah,
mean,
I actually heard.
yeah, one Soko
Mhm.
in Lofa County. So that it was just the issue of you want to support somebody for the presidency, but some of them did not do well for themselves, and they did not do well for those who they were representing at the 54th national legislature.
But yeah, 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 but here's what I think is my thought about some of those who got booted out. Uh, I don't know as to whether it was a prerequisite or as a criterion that once you contested on this party ticket and you were successful in 2017, it is a matter of must that you should stick to stay with the party, even though even though you must not you may not have done much for the people, but because that particular county or that particular district is predominantly owned or regarded as a stronghold of that particular party, so because you mess up, you will actually be preferred by the people because you are with the party. So I think the likes of Johnson Gueglo, the likes of Ascar, I think Ascar was one person who paid more time to the presidency, pay more time defending diatribes emanating from the opposition and trying to save the government image rather than catering to his what catering to his district. I think that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
one of the
yeah,
reasons
yeah.
why he was being booted out
Oh,
because to some extent he didn't effectively play the role his kind of role as enshrined within the constitutions, like the oversight, representation, and other. He spent more energy, he exerted more energy on defending the government, trying to repair the image of the government, trying to repair the outlook of the government, so that trying to impress President Weah. I think that could be one of the justifications for which Askar Gray may have lost his position to the Unity Party ticket candidate,
yeah,
rather the
yeah.
Unity Party candidate.
Just to buttress you,
Mhm.
that could be one reasons for which he lost his position to the United Party candidate Prince too.
Mhm.
Another factor could be the
Yeah,
constituents.
your
They
constituents.
were tired,
They were actually tired.
and not just being tired with his style of leadership,
Uh-huh.
but they were also tired of his attitude towards them.
Yeah, because I could remember in 2017, the people had had this resolution that they were not going to carry him,
Definitely so.
but he knew that the people were actually angry with him. He maneuvered to have to bring President Weah. He brought President Weah at a very massive program. A lot of people who trooped to that particular program went there with the sole purpose of actually listening to President Weah. And on that particular occasion, at that particular occasion, President Weah utilized that occasion to actually appeal on his behalf. So the people voted for him. And another disturbing thing that the people got very angry with is the fact that he had his welling ceremony outside of the district. That
Yeah,
was,
that is where I wanted to come there.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, going outside the country, not just outside the district, but leave the country, go out there and do. Somebody could say, "Oh, that is the man personal life."
right.
Yes, it's true. Yes, it is his personal life. But then he also have to understand that yes, you are representing a majority block of the people.
Mhm. So your personal life as
Will
well
no
as
longer be inhaling.
your personal life as well as your satisfaction will also be judged on the basis of how the people perceive you to be.
Exactly so.
You understand?
Exactly so.
Mhm.
So people took that into consideration. People saw that as an insult, a hurt,
Mhm.
as something that
As a flagrant
represented
disrespect.
exactly so, as something that represented a great shouldn't have done to them.
Mhm.
And then his opponent, those who were opposing him, were saying, "Oh, Mr. Great, you have to lead the district. You haven't served. You haven't done anything good for." They took that and then tried to
Yeah,
run
as a
around with it.
propaganda spree.
Yes, as a propaganda spree,
Mhm.
start to run around with it. "Oh, Mr. Gray, the man does not value the people in the district. He has taken the district money, go outside the country, go to Paris to go and get married." And then another thing, another situation that other people might say, "Oh, that would of course it resulted to he losing massively." Because I listened to the results from the University of Liberia
Yeah,
campus.
definitely.
Because
I was actually
there's a polling place that every election year they always having a polling place there.
Mhm.
So from that center, Representative Gray did not do well there.
Yeah.
He got a very bad number there. That alone signified to the public that what transpired on the University of Liberia campus few months ago. I think it was in March or May
Mhm.
of this year when he entered the University of Liberia campus in the name of going to have lunch, and then where people got wounded on
Wounded
that
and
particular day.
brutalized, or people nearly lost their life, and
Exactly.
you
So,
understand?
I want to believe it is because of that people went against him. The people went against him. The propaganda that were preached by those who are in the opposition circle, and a year fruit.
We're even hit by some members of the student unification party also.
Definitely so,
Mhm.
because there are students who go on that campus almost every day, and then some of them decide and say, "Oh, okay, since Mr. Great did this to us, I'm going to register in the district to see how best we should. I mean, we will remove him on no condition. We will see how best we will vote in this district to remove Representative Gray." So it was because of that some of the students who go on that campus almost every day, it was based on that they when they voted the way in which they vote. But howbeit, that is the will of the people, and the people spoke to their voter ID card. So that is it. And Mr. Gray, you will just have to accept the results and then move on. But I want to believe his all of his strength now going to be in putting the agenda of President Weah to see how best President Weah can be re-elected since he have lost the representative seat to Princeton.
Yeah, most definitely. Okay, folks, so this is where we are. We have been here since 4 o'clock discussing some issues pertaining to our district, and as well, we have elevated the conversation over to the national scene where we try to analyze. Tomorrow, we will be back here again. This is the program, Good Evening Liberia, a newly established program where we analyze the issues unfolding, taking place in our motherland, Liberia. Mohammed Bani Khan has been here along with me, and together we have been analyzing some of the critical issues as it relates to our district and Liberia alike. I know a lot of you want to hear results coming from the National Elections Commission as it relates to they just ended electoral process. But we can tell you that all of the results that have been announced over the last few days, there is a possibility that you will actually go to a run off or second run, as if you choose to call it that way, because the Constitution say that before you become the president of the Republic of Liberia, you must obtain 50% plus one vote. So tomorrow we'll be back here. The program starts from 4 o'clock all the way to 6 o'clock, and we just have a meeting to 6 o'clock. And so, Mohammed, I want to hear your party statement from you as it relates to this program because we have been here since 4 o'clock up to where we are now.
Oh yes, it's good being here, and my hearts up greetings to all of our followers, those who've been there with us, following us from 4 o'clock up to this time. We want to say thank you and sticking still every Monday. I mean, not every Monday, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday
Sunday, you will be here.
from 4 to 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Just copy this time, take a notepad, and just get this shit that every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're gonna be out of the program Good Evening Liberia. So we appreciate you, and then we look forward to getting your feedback. Even if you cannot send us a feedback on our station page, you can do it in person. You can give us a feedback. We will acknowledge it, and then we see our best to work on it. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Mohammed Bani Khan. That is a very brilliant gentleman who shared his thoughts and his beautiful analysis on the trends of politics in District 13 in Liberia at large. So even just as Mohammed has said, if you even want to appear as a guest, we can give you the platform, and the two of us will actually interview you. You can start business deal with Foca Online TV. We are located in at the Topo Village Junction along the Different Freeway. We are open to business. And this is the program where we bring you our analysis on the situations. We are hoping that this program will grow and grow up to the larger extent. So in due time, our management is working tirelessly to ensure that we have a frequency so that we can have a larger audience. So it is our prayer you to be praying with us as we embark upon this major success. So we hope to achieve this in before this year goes to our end. It is our prayer that we achieve this. So this is how we call it a day. Thanks to all of you who have been watching. Let me recognize you guys. Rufus Divine, Brooks Jr., following from the compound of Prime, 105.5 in Monrovia, just beneath the U.S. Embassy. Okay, Vulu Say 19, Rufus Divine, Bro, following from compound of Penny at Gahuman Celibat. I hope I'm pronouncing your name very well. Thank you for following. Say I'm watching from NTA community. Andy Bropled Jala, watching from the slum of PA. PA, I really don't know what he means by PA.
Philadelphia.
No, okay, Philadelphia. Okay, that's our CEO there, a very visionary, illustrious individual, a Liberian. He cares so much about his country. Uh, H.E. Emmanuel Gomo Nyan. I hope I pronounced the last name. Five man. Oh, okay. He tries to be very comical. That's our own man. Miami Las Bonsano. Isaac Robert. Daniel Zetowan. Uh, so Daniel is saying most of the invalid votes are from voters who use fingerprint. They they don't want for the ink to dry before filling the vote. People, you could be right. As Amos Timer following from Broadway Parker Common Base One. Uh, Mafila Kamara, good afternoon, comrades. I'm following live from Freetown Zero. Wow, you are following from Freetown, way from Freetown. So we love to say Seek and Stay with Foca Online TV. Tomorrow we will be back here to bring you another amazing edition of the program, Good Evening Liberia. So my name is Kelly Lyndon Toba. This is how we choose to call it a day and to be back here on tomorrow as usual. Thank you. Thanks to all of you who have been following with us, watching along with us. Better still, it is also important that when you are watching along with us, you just say something so that you can be recognized. Just say something, stick and stay with Foca Online TV. If you want to do business with us, you are most welcome. If you even want to appear on our platform, you are most welcome. Just reach out to us. You can reach out to Mohammed Bani Kanen on his Facebook page. That's his name there, Mohammed Bani Kanen. You can reach out to me, K. Lyndon Toba. That's my full name right there on the stream. You can reach out to me, and definitely we will bring you through. So thanks to all of you who have been there. Thanks to the Liberians who have been watching from the diaspora. Thanks to all of you. You are very, very important to us, and it is because of you we are here. So this is how I choose to call your day.